Welcome to another episode of the Football Weekly Podcast. I'm your co-host, Reginald Dino. Solo mission today. Jorginho is out of town, so we will be doing this solo this week. Lots of things happen in the world of football past couple of weeks beyond results of the games. I can officially say yesterday I played my normal Friday night game. I have a couple of Liverpool players that are on that, Liverpool fans that are on that team, and I went up to them nicely and congratulated on winning the league this season because Arsenal stink. So that's done with. We're not going to be hearing me talk a lot about Arsenal for the rest of the season. All I want to say is for what they did in the off, or what they didn't do in the winter transfer market or last summer, they better make up for it big this coming summer. Because I think the fans have actually had enough now. They've actually had enough. But anyways, like I said, there's no more Arsenal talk unless someone else brings it up, but I won't. So, like I said, lots of stuff going on off the pitch. We have the Mourinho debacle out in Turkey, which I agree with some of the things he said, and I don't agree with others. We'll get into that. Jamie Carragher, another white is right pundit from the white is right media in England. So we'll talk about what he said about one of my favorite tournaments anyway, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Canada, going after dual citizen players. It's about time. So we'll talk about that, and we'll also talk about the beginning of the Toronto FC season last weekend. And this whole thing about Lorenzo Insigne, Willie or won't he? Well, I know he won't, but he should. We'll talk about it. So where do you want to start? Where should we start? I think we'll start in Canada since we're here. We'll leave the other stuff because we're going to take our time with that stuff. We're going to dissect that. So we'll start in Canada. This past week, or maybe this past 2 weeks, two players, dual citizenship players, I should say, have chosen to represent Canada. So we've been saying this on this podcast for years and years and years and years. The only way you're going to get better as a club, the only way you're going to get better as a country is to have competition for places within your national team. If I'm a player and I know I'm going to make the team, does my level go up or stay the same? It probably stays the same. It might even drop a little bit because I know I'm going to the World Cup. You have nobody else to take with you. So up top, who would be the for Canada? Who would be the shoe-in names that you have that are in pen, like before you even think about it? So you have to say Kyle Larin, you have to say Jonathan David, Tajon Buchanan. Those guys' names are in pen. But now you're bringing in two strikers, two forwards. One that's playing in the English Premier League, in Daniel Jebison, born in Oakville. 21 years old, playing in the best league in the world, if you want to call it that. He's going to bring his scoring prowess to the Canadian men's national team. So now there's another guy that I got. Now, if I'm Kyle Larin, I'm not saying Kyle Larin's on his way out or he's the odd man out. I'm not saying that. I'm just using him as an example. But if I'm Kyle Larin or Jonathan David or whoever, now I'm looking at it and saying, oh, there's another guy coming in. Oh, that guy's not bad, actually. Oh, wow. Maybe my level should go up. Maybe I should put in some extra training at the training ground to make sure that I'm going to the World Cup next year. And then to double down on that, Jesse Marsch also convinces Promise David, who's playing out in Belgium, scoring goals for fun. I believe 21 games, 8 goals, 4 assists, Belgium League. So now maybe Jonathan David, Kyle Larin are again, maybe my level needs to go up. Because if these guys hit the ground running, maybe I don't play. But that's the only way you're going to get better. Only way you're going to get better is competition for spots. Because everyone's level rises when that happens. Promise David, 23 years old, born in Brampton, can represent Nigeria, decided to chose Canada. Again, Daniel Jebison, 21 years old, out of Oakville, like I mentioned, playing for Bournemouth in the EPL. Can play for Jamaica, England, or Canada. Chose Canada. And people are going to sit there and say, oh, he chose Canada because he wouldn't play. He's not going to make the English national team. Yeah, he's not going to make the English national team. Okay, so what? So what? Did Jorginho, Italy's captain, when he lifted the Euros, did they say, oh, he only playing for Italy because it wouldn't have made the Brazil national team? Like, what are you talking about? I have to ask John. Next time Joel's on the show, I have to ask him because he played for Vaughan. Promise David. He played for Vaughan. I want to know if he remembers him and if he can share some stories about him. But this bodes nothing but good things for the Canadian men's national team. I was a strong opponent of bringing in Jesse Marsch. What has this guy done? And I'll sit here and admit I was incorrect. They've probably played the best, most entertaining football I've seen a Canada team play in a long time. Even when John Herdman came in, I was a fan of John Herdman. He came in and changed the culture, made it a brotherhood. Jesse Marsch has taken that and ran with it and then some. And I believe John Herdman was trying to get Promise David to come and play for Canada and couldn't get it done. I believe Jesse Marsch, Jonathan David, Alfonso Davies, and Alistair Johnston, by the way, who appeared on this show. He made a video to Promise David and said, hey, listen, this is what's going on. We have a World Cup. I think Daniel Jebison and Promise David, we have a World Cup. We're hosting. We're in. Come, you'll play. And that's all players at that age want to hear. I'm going to be playing on the biggest stage in my country or in the country I was born. In front of the world, you don't lose. Or maybe they looked at Tomori and AC Milan and didn't want to go down that path of snubbing Canada, getting chosen by England, playing maybe 15 minutes in an England game, and then never getting called again. Tomori would look fantastic in our back line in Canada. Fantastic. Gareth Southgate doing Gareth Southgate things. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see Canada play. I'm excited. I want to see this team together. I want to see these two new players that have chosen to represent Canada. I want to see them all together with Eustachio and Osorio and Larea and Johnston and Davies. I want to see this. And they picked up a defensive midfielder. I don't want to mispronounce his name, so I won't try. But they picked up a defensive midfielder. I think he could have played for Croatia, I believe, if I'm correct. And they picked him up as well. Jesse Marsch picked him up as well. So I like what Jesse Marsch is doing. I'm doing a total 180. The best man for the job. And I don't think this is a stepping stone job for him because it's Canada and they're not a soccer power like people like to think across the world. I don't think it's a stepping stone to something else because I believe he snubbed the USA job as well. So I can't wait to see this team. Can't wait. Staying in Canada, we'll talk about TFC really quickly. Started their season last week in where the hell did they play? I don't remember where they played. It was a 2-2 draw. Oh, DC United. I believe it was. Yeah, it's DC United. They played in DC. So we're probably not going to see a Toronto FC game in Toronto for probably the first 5 weeks of the season, I don't believe, because it's stupid outside. But I mean, a 2-2 draw. I think they came back twice from down. I think they were down 1-0 and then 2-1 and came back and drew. So have I seen anything different? Maybe a little bit of the not give up, the keep on fighting attitude. Didn't see it in Insigne. I mean, I don't understand what he's doing. He's got 3 offers from European teams, and TFC has offered to give him the rest of the money. They take the rest of the money and beat it, and he won't do it. Don't understand it. Article came out this past week saying, yeah, well, maybe he's back in the fold. Maybe we'll see him this weekend. They're playing Orlando City tonight, actually, 7:30 in Orlando. But they said maybe we'll see him tonight. He's back in the fold. Can't bring that guy back in. Ego's been bruised, and I'm pretty sure it's an ego thing why he doesn't want to take the money and leave, because players are the ones that are supposed to be like, I don't want to play for you anymore. Get rid of me. Not the club saying, we don't need you or we don't want you. Get lost. And he's saying no, and he's sticking around. I don't know if he's training. I don't know what he's doing. But if he wanted to play, he would have taken the money and gone. What do I know? What can I tell you? So we'll see. We'll do when Joe's on the show again. We'll do like a recap, maybe the first 4 games of Robin Fraser's tenure now, the beginning of his tenure. So we'll dissect it after 4 games. I'm not going to go really deep into 1-2 game in DC. After maybe the first 4 games, we'll talk about what TFC's done well and where we see them going. Moving across the pond. You want to start with this clown? You know what? We'll leave him for last. Yeah, we'll leave him for last. Fuck Jake Carrick. Now, this guy's one of my favorite coaches. One of my favorite all-time coaches, Jose Mourinho. Why? Because he wins, and he says exactly what is on his mind. If you ever watched the Amazon special, what the hell is it called? All or Nothing, the football one. When Tottenham had theirs, and I believe it or not, I did watch it. We spoke to Danny Rose. Oh my God, perfect. That's how you deal with that. No player is bigger than the club. If you want to go out and try to look for another team, be my guest. Go look. I don't even know where Danny Rose is today, but anyways. Because of that, he's one of my favorite players, favorite managers. You want to say Pep or Mourinho? I take Mourinho all day. Ask me 10 times, I take him 11. This past week, he said something this past week, and I have the clip here. I'll play it for you. He said something this week. Half of it I agree with, half of it I don't. But I'll let you hear it.
Of course, the fourth official was there, a Turkish referee, and I told him, thank you to come here, because you come for a big match and you are responsible for a big match. And I turned myself to the first official, and I told this match, if you are the referee, this match would be a disaster. And when I say him, I say the general tendency. If they are really, really good, if they want to be an example of we are good, we are strong, we are the champions, we want to show how good we are, they should ask for foreign referees every match. But when the referees are foreign, with a cup, go home. Against us at home, 1 shot on target. But if they are good and they believe really in themselves and in their power, they should ask the federation. Give us foreign referees for every match. I have also to thank the referee, because with the Turkish referee, after the big dive in the first minute and their bench jumping like monkeys on the top of the kids, with the Turkish referee, you would have a yellow card after 1 minute, and after 5 minutes, I would have to change him. So thankfully, it was perfect experience for him.
So what he's talking about, if you're not familiar with it, is top of the table Turkish derby match between the 2 most historic teams in Turkey, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce. This is the Montreal Canadiens versus Toronto Maple Leafs. This is the Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles. This is the Liverpool, Man United, the Arsenal, Tottenham. This is that game. And I agree with what he said. I've been harping on this for years. Why do referees in certain countries have to referee those games? Why? And we'll take England for example because the refereeing's awful. But why do English referees need to be referees in English games? Why? You should be developing referees 100% in your country, 100%. But I don't want to see a top of the table clash. If Arsenal was any closer, if Arsenal was 1 or 2 points away from Liverpool, I don't want to see Michael Oliver reffing Liverpool Arsenal. I don't want to see Anthony Taylor reffing that. I don't. Why can't you bring in a foreign referee, the Champions League final referee, the big ball-headed guy? Bring him in to do that game. Why can't we do that? They just did it in Turkey. They brought a foreign referee to ref that game. And like he was saying, if to the fourth official who was Turkish, if you were in the middle, it'd be a disaster. This game would be a disaster. Because you're from Turkey. You know how much this game means to everybody. It's going to affect the calls you make. It would be a disaster. And he's right. It would be. Look at all the big games in England. Disasters. There's always something stupid that happens in them. Because you have stupid referees refereeing the games. And I've been saying this again, I've been saying this for years. Why does VAR have to be in the country that the game's being played in? I can do VAR from here for an English EPL game. I can do it from here. All the referees associations, I believe, if I'm wrong, then somebody correct me, but all the referees associations are within UEFA because they can ref Champions League games. They can ref Euro games. They're all in UEFA. So why can't the France VAR team do EPL games 1 week and then Spain does it the next week and Germany does it the next week and Italy does it why does it have to be England referees policing English referees? Doesn't work. It's proven it doesn't work. We all look at VAR and we say, oh, VAR is broken. VAR is not broken. It's the fools that are using it that are broken. You could be sat in Turin doing VAR for Liverpool Arsenal. Believe you me, you'd have a better referee game that way. I said this a couple of weeks ago on my other show, I believe, or maybe it was this show, the Clock Enders, the Arsenal show that I do. 100,000 million quadrillion % Michael Oliver is taking money from somebody, whether it's the mafia, whether it's the clubs, whether it's the FA. He's taking money from somewhere. It'll come out in 2 years. It'll come out. I'm telling you, he's taking money. But why do I think that? Why should I think that? I shouldn't think that, but I do. Because every time he refs a game that has significance in the title race, some nonsense happens. Some nonsense you've never seen before happens. Take you back to the time where he gave Gabriel Martinelli 2 yellow cards within 10 seconds off the same play. Put up his hand to block a throw in, got a yellow card for that, and then fouled the guy who got the ball, got a yellow for that. I've never seen that before. Never seen it since either. You let one go, and then you give him a yellow card for the foul. You give him a yellow card for trying to block the throw, whatever it is. You give him one, and then you say no more. That's it. That's your warning. But nope, you give him a yellow for that, and then you turn around and give him a yellow for that one. Within 10 seconds. Same play. Never seen it before. Never seen it since. Michael Oliver, ladies and gentlemen. I agree 100% with what Mourinho's saying. Big games, bring in foreign referees. You've proven to the world that you can't handle these games. You're not competent enough to handle these games. Give it to somebody else who is. There's a reason why English referees aren't in the Euros. There's a reason why English referees don't ref in the World Cup. There's a reason for it. Now, the second part of what he said with the players jumping like monkeys, you can't compare players to monkeys. You can't do that. So, Galatasaray has actually said they were going to file criminal charges against Mourinho And the Turkish league has actually banned Mourinho 4 games for those comments. I agree with that. You can't call other players monkeys. Now, I was thinking about this today when it was back in, oh my God, it was a long time ago. There was an NBA, there was a college basketball player, a college basketball commentator. He said something like, oh my God, he used the word monkeys. And it's a very offensive term to black people. And he said something about monkeys. He was like, it wasn't these guys are monkeys. It wasn't something like that. It was something so, it's the wrong choice of words. But even me listening into it, he didn't mean it like that. And Steven Adams came out. Steven Adams is he's still a basketball player in the NBA. He's from Australia. And he was being interviewed by him. I think it was Bill Rafferty, actually, or Jim Rafferty. I can't remember. And he brought it up. He was like, yeah, in Australia, I mean, the parents call the kids monkeys all the time. Like, oh, come over here, you little monkey, get over here. So, I mean, it depends on where you're from. Okay. Again, depends on where you're from. If in Turkey that's an offensive term, then 100% you don't use it. So if that's the term that he used and it's deemed racist in Turkey, then by all means, 4-game ban. I have no problem with that. No problem with that. So I believe Fenerbahce and Jose Mourinho are going to appeal. We'll keep you posted on what happens from that. Now getting on to this idiot. Jamie Carragher makes me sick. Most days. He makes me sick. Him and Gary Neville make me sick. Most times they open their mouth. And you can see Gary Neville is nowhere near this, by the way. Smart man. Controversy brought up, talking about Mo Salah possibly winning a Ballon d'Or. And then Jamie Carragher saying this.
I think the fact he's probably with Egypt and he's probably not playing in the major tournament as such, or maybe got a great chance to win. I think it's either the Champions League or the major tournament. Normally the player who excels in that. You're looking at sort of Vinny Jr. and Mbappe right now. Real Madrid looking really good, going for the Champions League. Liverpool will be in that conversation, but right now he's certainly the front runner.
To say AFCON is a major tournament because a lot of people are saying people not taking that. Say AFCON is a major tournament. Just so you don't.
No, well, Egypt are not going to win the World Cup, are they?
No, but AFCON it's big, wasn't it? Remember when him and Mane was going for it? And I'm just saying, AFCON.
It's a fact. It's a fact. If you win the Euros or you win the Copa America, it's deemed to be big, so the AFCON's in the same level.
It's just the arrogance, the dismissiveness, if that's a word, of a continent's tournament. Why is it viewed that an Africa Cup of Nations tournament isn't as major as a Copa America or a Euro? It's not as big as the World Cup. The Euros aren't as big as the World Cup. Copa America is not as big as the World Cup. So you can't compare the two to the World Cup. Or you can't compare the two, the World Cup and AFCON. You can't. Can't compare World Cup and Copa America. Can't compare World Cup and the Euros. You can't compare. So why is Copa America viewed as a big tournament? Copa America is awful to watch. If you listen to some shows back when Copa America was going on in the summer and Canada was playing, I made a comment. I said, if Canada wasn't in this, I wouldn't be watching. This is shit football. There's a whistle every 10 seconds. Someone's rolling around the field for 15 minutes. And every time the whistle blows, 20 players surround the referee. And you do this for 90 minutes. Unwatchable. Actually, I shouldn't say that. There was a game, I think Colombia, Argentina. The semis? Maybe it was the semis. Great game, actually. That was a good game. But the rest of it is shit. Why do you give that more of a boost than Africa Cup of Nations? Because the greatest player ever to play, which he's not. Very good, very good. Messi's a very, 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 very good player. If you want to say he's the greatest, okay, that's your opinion, but to me, he's not. I don't want to hear any arguments. My opinion, he's not the greatest player ever to play. His countryman is, but he's not. Why do we give Copa America a pass? Copa America is shit. And I know there's people out there that watch the show that are South American descent, and yeah, you're watching it because your family's from there or you were born there or whatever. So you're backing your country. No problem with that. That's 100%. But if you're talking about the actual soccer, it is shit. Oh, well, sorry, not the actual soccer. I'll say the gameplay. The gameplay is bad. It takes 4 hours to play a 90-minute game because whistle, 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 surrounding. It's awful to watch. Foul's not being called. Same foul the other way is a yellow card. Other foul, I'm not going to get into it. Canada got robbed. So I would really like to hear what he thinks about Copa America. Because Copa America's bad and Messi won the Ballon d'Or. Right? It's another white is right comment by the English media, the white is right English media, that's Sky Sports and Talk Sports. The white is right. If you don't believe me, go listen. I listen to them and I can say this. That's what it is. How you can be sat there and have a conversation between, oh, I'd rather have Phil Foden on my team than Bukayo Saka. Are you on drugs? Is Bukayo Saka world class? Oh no, he's getting there. Yeah. Is Cole Palmer world class? Oh my god, for sure. Oh my god, you should have seen blah, blah. The thing that upsets me most is when something like this happens. No one's pulled this guy up. Guys that do podcasts like me, and there's other podcasts out there on YouTube. They're doing it. I'm not going to name who it is, but you can go on YouTube, throw a stick, and you'll find a podcast that's talking about this. But where's Sky Sports in this? The views expressed by Jamie Carragher do not blah 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 blah. Sky Sports. Where's that statement? Go on to Talk Sport. I went on to Talk Sport the next day. I'm thinking, okay, these guys are going to roast this guy. Oh no, I can see where he's coming from. The only people that are pulling this guy up are people of African descent and players that have played in the AFCON. There was a teammate of Mo Salah that called out Jamie Carragher, telling him, yeah, well, I'm glad I won. It's a huge tournament. I'm glad I've won it twice. How many Euros have you won? Paraphrasing, in and around like that. John Obi Mikel came out and just lambasted him. JJ Okocha came out and lambasted him. And listen to the names I'm naming you right now. When I was in Ghana in 2023, and I was talking to the cab driver that was driving us around that day. And we were talking. Oh, do you like soccer? Yeah, I like Arsenal. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, Thomas Partey. Yeah. So I was like, hey, what's it like here when Ghana's playing, like Africa Cup of Nations or whatever, World Cup qualifying when they're playing? And you just see his face light up. It's like, oh, everything stops. We stop what we're doing. We go to the stadium. We go to the TV. Go to your friend's house, and we stay and we just watch. And it's a whole day thing. We don't work. We don't do anything. We just watch. We wait for the game to come and we play. It means something to the people of Africa, this tournament. It means something. Because it doesn't mean anything to you doesn't mean that it's not a major tournament. It is a major tournament. We do put stars on the jerseys. I don't know if you can see the Ghana jersey. There's 4 stars underneath it. Why? Because they've won it 4 times. It's a major tournament. The African people love this tournament. And I don't know if you watched the last Africa Cup of Nations. Throughout the years, when it goes on, it just gets better and better and better. Because you don't watch it doesn't mean that it's not good. Guy makes me sick, man. Honestly makes me sick. And after you make a comment like that, wouldn't you think, you know what, maybe should lay low a little bit and not say anything then? No, right, next day posting about something else, like nothing ever happened. And Sky Sports says nothing, which was on Sky Sports channel that he said this nonsense. And just the dismissiveness of it. When Micah Richards says, well, wait a minute, AFCON is a big tournament. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? And it's just like, oh my God. You can hear him. You can hear him under his breath. Oh my God. Michael Jordan wants to talk to me about winning NBA championships. I will listen all day. Shaquille O'Neal wants to talk to me about winning NBA championships. I'll listen all day. Kobe Bryant, well, that'll be a miracle. I listen to him all day. Charles Barkley, maybe not so much, because he never won anything. He never won one. Phil Neville telling a coach what needs to be done on the field and tactics that need to be done on the field is comical. Look at his Valencia record, coaching Valencia. I think he lasted 8 games. Awful. Rio Ferdinand, well, I still do, but I lump Rio Ferdinand in with that crowd, the Nevilles and the Carragers. But the last 3 weeks, I think I've agreed with him twice, which is a miracle. And he came up and pulled out Jamie Carragher and said, well, what are you talking about? And then Jamie Carragher snaps back, oh, you're always playing to the gallery. You're always agreeing with what everyone else agrees with. Shut up, you clown, or something, paraphrasing again. You can go online and see exactly what he said. And Rio Ferdinand just came back and said, yeah, man, you're having a bad week, with this and Pep and, and Miles Lewis-Skelly, what you said about Miles Lewis-Skelly's red card and all that. You're having a bad week. Just work it out. Pretty much work it out, buddy. When I look at people, and I'm not calling Jamie Carragher a racist. I don't know him. I can't say that. I've never met him, never talked to him. I mean, just by actions, you can probably pick out what he is, what the person is. But again, I'm not calling him a racist. But I'd rather have a person who is a racist talk to me straight up, me knowing you're a racist, than the guys who are oblivious. What's more harmful, the actual racists or the guys that are oblivious to racism? I say the guys that are oblivious to racism because they can't see it. Oh, everything's fine. I know a couple of people in my life that are like that. Oh, what are you talking about? Black person hasn't got shot in a while. Everything's fine now. So, not to make it a political show about that, keeping it soccer related. So for those of you out there that are listening who don't know, Africa Cup of Nations is a major tournament in Africa. It's a major tournament everywhere. If you're going to say Copa America is a major tournament, Africa Cup of Nations is above that. It's above that. Is the Asian tournament terrible too? That does not sound a major tournament for anybody to win. Well, if it's not European, it's shit. That's the problem out there. That's the problem out there. I asked somebody the other day. Somebody was banging on about the English Premier League and how great it is. And okay, it's a good league. That's fine. Okay, no problem. And then they was banging on about the English national team. And we got this guy, we got that guy, we got this guy, we got that guy. By the way, Jude Bellingham's English. Had a chance to come back and play in the EPL and said, no. So I said, look at the EPL's top 10. And if you're telling me that the English players are the best in the world and this, that, and that, go to the English Premier League's top 10 teams, and tell me who the best player on those teams are. And let me know if any one of them are English. Top 10 in the EPL. Go into the English Premier League and tell me the last time an English coach won the English Premier League. An English coach. When is the last time? It's happened, I believe. Has it happened? You're not claiming Sir Alex Ferguson because he's not English. So you go back and you let me know if that's ever happened. Again, I've said it before. English Premier League has been dominated by a Frenchman, a German, a Spaniard, a Portuguese, a Scotsman, and an Italian as far as coaching goes. How many times has a player of the year been English in the EPL? So this white is right English media, Premier League, European thing, I don't understand where it comes from. Maybe you're ignorant. Maybe you're like the Americans. You're just ignorant to everything outside of your borders. I don't know. But those comments are crazy from this guy. Crazy. And the fact that no one's pulling him up on this at a higher level than podcasts is even crazier. It's only English. I think it's only FA Cup this weekend. So he actually gets a break this week from having to sit in front of the camera. It'd be very interesting what comes out of this. I know no one's going to say anything about it. It's swept under the rug. Black people are going to be angry for a week, and then we'll just continue as normal. That has to stop. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to our podcast, subscribe. We're on YouTube, obviously. We're on all popular podcast platforms. We're on Spotify, TuneIn, Player FM, Stitcher. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on Amazon Music. You can ask Alexa to play the Futbol Weekly podcast, and bing, you'll hear us. We're also going to be on Threads whenever I get a chance to set that up. But we are on Instagram and all popular social media platforms if you're not following us. Hopefully, Jorginho will be back next week. Looking forward to actually, there's a Champions League week this week, so looking forward to those ties. Hopefully, I'm going to watch the Arsenal game, but we're not winning Champions League and we're not winning the league. It's just another season again that we finish either. Well, I wanted to say second, but if we keep playing like this, we might not even make Champions League spots this year. So frustrating. So frustrating. But anyways, guys, it's Saturday at 12:45. Got things to do. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next week.